Welcome back to Muscle Magazine. Bodybuilding fans in San Jose got a pleasant surprise when most of the pros at the Arnold Classic lineup stuck with the contest dieting another week and headed to the West Coast. Here's Andy Stevens with the hot bod.
When the annual San Jose Pro Invitational came to town this year, promoter Mike Senna and sponsor Champion Nutrition vowed to make it the greatest bodybuilding contest to hit the Silicon Valley in years. Most of the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic competitors had decided to maintain their condition for an extra week and showcase their physiques just one more time. Finishing in 10th place was Toronto's Henderson Thorne, who was off his best condition. Although it may seem he's never going to make it as a pro, Niagara Falls ended up being his big win this year after 5 attempts. Flavio Baccianini, who trains and lives in nearby San Francisco, had the hometown advantage. The 4'10" powerhouse has the most confident posing style in the pro ranks and refuses to give up despite lower placings and a distinct height advantage. Mike Matarazzo may never win a contest, but so what? The audience usually cheers twice as hard for him than any winner. With possibly the most outrageous size ever seen in pro bodybuilding, he electrifies the crowd with 22-inch arms, the largest calves in the world, and a presentation that magnetizes his fans.
I think I've been real popular, and am still real popular because I'm just a regular guy. You know, they can sense that. They can approach me, they can talk to me. I don't BS anybody. You know, I've never been just a talker. I try to, you know, be as pleasant and as decent with people as I would like them to be with me. And I think they sense that I know that I'm no different or no better than anybody out in the audience. It's just that I make my living at it, and I'm up there doing it. So, and I myself realize that it's the bodybuilding fans that make the shows what they are, you know.
Another rising cult figure is Australia's Lee Priest. At just a touch over 5'3", this mini monster boasts legitimate 21-inch arms and the most original hairstyle in the sport. The most incredible thing about Lee is his age. Until recently, he couldn't even get into a nightclub. Mass fans are already starting to worship the young priest. Aaron Baker may be known as the Dark Angel, but he's definitely the brightest new addition to this year's pro lineup. He's not placing as high as he'd like, but it's obvious to everyone that his potential to dominate is just beneath the surface. In 5th was a new and improved Achim Albrecht. Apparently, the domestic life of a wife and baby has only helped Achim because he's never looked so dense and full. At 260 pounds, he was easily the biggest man on stage. Unfortunately, pure size often has to take a bow to shape and symmetry in the sport of bodybuilding. Big Ronnie Coleman from Texas took 4th place with a truly enormous upper body. Claiming to be steroid-free for life, he was a consistent top 5 placer on the European Grand Prix Tour. Not bad for a man who couldn't crack the top 10 at the Amateur National Championships just 3 years ago. Every couple of years, someone comes along and redefines the limits of contest conditioning. In the 80s, it was Rich Gaspari. In the early 90s, it was Andreas Munzer. Now, the torch must be rightfully passed to David Dearth. David now makes the old David Dearth look like a little baby. Runner-up Porter Catrell was coming directly from a 3rd-place finish at the Arnold Classic and took 2nd in San Jose. He was much fuller and several pounds heavier than appearances in the past, but unfortunately, he sacrificed a bit of his classic muscle hardness in the process. Porter was not as polished as usual, and this allowed a longtime friend and rival to take the upper hand.
When we're on stage, yes, we are very competitive. And about Kevin as a bodybuilder, I respect him immensely. He's one of the best that ever stepped foot on stage. And if I could do anything, I'd like to emulate his footsteps, and because he's been very successful. But I like Kevin as a person, and that's the most important thing to me. It's not whether you're successful or you beat me, you don't beat me in bodybuilding. It's who you are inside as a person in your heart and how you treat others, and most importantly, how you treat me.
Yes, Kevin Levrone had just scored a $90,000 paycheck at the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, but he wasn't through yet. He stayed ripped to the bone for one more week and stole the show in San Jose. Kevin is probably the only pro bodybuilder to ever win a contest after tearing his chest, which makes his achievement this spring that much more impressive. For the third year in a row, he's proved he's always a threat to win any show he chooses.
This whole thing of me winning the title or me placing high in Olympia or going home as a champion after a competition, I try to look at it as not as selfish. When I'm on stage for everyone. I'm on stage, you know, we all win. And winning a title like the Arnold Classic or any prestigious title, it gives me the opportunity to go out and to be a champion in the people's eyes. You know, so whenever I can give back to the public, that's what I do. You know, I spend a lot of time doing charitable work and contributions, Grant and Wish Foundations, John Hopkins, Research for Cancer. I mean, whenever I can, I go spend time with the kids. And when I win a title like the Arnold Classic, or maybe one day I'll be Mr. Olympia, so I'll be even more of a bigger hero in their eyes. And that's what I like about what I do.
For Muscle Magazine, I'm Andy Stevens.